Unlike those in Canberra, we on this program have not forgotten the 35,000 stranded Australians who are barred from their own country. This is a stain on the Morrison Government. The Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade had 35,000 Australians register their interest in returning to Australia, but still nothing's been actioned by government. Around 5,000 of those registered are classed as vulnerable. As the Professor of Law at Canberra University, Kim Rubenstein, has said, if Australian citizenship doesn't guarantee a person the right to live in Australia, what then is the point of it? Now, I touched on this last week. The government sets a limit on those allowed into the country. It's currently 6,000 a week. Therefore, when it comes to the airlines, they are also forced to limit their capacity. This leads to inflated ticket prices, basically extortion, where Australians are priced out and bumped off flights because non-citizens are willing to pay the price of both the travel and the quarantine. In some cases, a one-way ticket to Australia could cost anything up to $10,000 than the cost of quarantine. This has led to two Australians, Jason George and Alex Marshall, seeking a remedy from the United Nations Human Rights Committee, which monitors the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights by member countries such as us. These two Australians claim Australia has breached their right to return to their own country, a right set out in Section 12, subsection 4 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. Now, last Thursday, the committee issued an interim order requesting Australia facilitate and ensure their prompt return to Australia while the case is pending. Now, today, almost a week later, there seems to be no evidence of any action being taken to act out this order. Professor Rubenstein is correct when she argues nearly half of all Australians are either born overseas or have at least one parent who was born overseas. All those Australian families have been adversely affected by the disproportionate impact of the travel bans imposed to contain the pandemic. Now, everyone wants to protect Australia, she said, from COVID-19, but there are less restrictive ways of doing it. Well, amen to that. As you heard me say, our coronavirus response has been disproportionate from day one. There are grounded planes at airports right around the country. Why can't the federal government commission these planes and have all these bureaucrats who enjoy big salaries establish a strategy urgently to collect our fellow Australians from overseas?